not so well. You don't have a good yield, and you may have a lower quality fiber. But as it used to be, and we think now would be a use for any of the fiber. It is an oil crop. I think it's, you look in the botanical files, it's under the oil families. Hemp oil sells at $1 an ounce. You can go out on Southland Drive and buy it today. I think it's $20 a bottle for about 18 ounces, or less, 16 ounces maybe. Hungarians, we've talked to a man in Canada whose parents were from Hungary. He went back to the villages they came from, and they grind up the seed and make hemp butter, just like we have peanut butter. Very nourishing. They feed the school children. And if you take the oil out of it, it's just like soybean meal. You feed all the animals. So, history, the book's full of it. It's a matter of, can we think we've grown so wise or naive or just plain illiterate, that all of a sudden the crop is all bad. And the phenomenon is, when you're eating popcorn, corn makes whiskey. You don't really think about that when you're eating popcorn, though. Or if you like real good sweet corn in the springtime, and wait till hope you can get some. You don't sit there thinking about a bottle of whiskey. The damn plant can make anything out of it.
It's the paper that the Constitution is written on. I used to put up hay with hemp string, by far the best string. The plastic stuff is just terrible to fool with because it all shreds and the cows get it in their toes and you can't get rid of it. The sisal, which we buy, that comes from India, it doesn't have those nice long staples that hemp has. And I've got a big ball over the house made out of hemp twine. And this area would just be a wonderful place to grow it. And you can grow that big old stuff. You can grow it as high as this barn. You don't have much potency to it at all. And my brother and I have laminated chunks of these stalks together and squeezed them down with a cheese press. So you're able to get what are essentially 4x4s with pithy interiors, and they attach together just by their own resins. It'll take a nail, you could saw it. It could be the answer to all these loggers who have run out of trees. This whole valley up there, and the first state that does it is going to be way out in front of the other states.
I have talked with many older women that are farmers that are sincerely interested in industrial hemp as a cash crop. They understand the historical basis of where we've grown industrial hemp. They've done an incredible job of researching what other countries are doing in terms of raising industrial hemp. And they're very interested from a very sincere economic point of view. Could this be the next cash crop for the American farmer? Is there some hope here? There's another faction that supports industrial hemp, not so much from an alternative fiber perspective, but from the group or the faction that's really sincerely interested in legalizing, if not continuing to decriminalize, the use and production of marijuana in the United States. So there is also a very strong pro-marijuana lobby that's acting that would also like to see industrial hemp being legalized because it's a foot in the door. They're both cannabis sativa.
Let me put it like this. Some people who don't know me give me a reputation for wanting to legalize drugs. I do not want to do that. I'm in the business of trying to license and regulate cannabis as a crop. Tomatoes are legal. Alcohol and tobacco is licensed and regulated. And I seek to license and regulate, take it out of the black market status, just cannabis now. I would take the law enforcement dollar, which we would save off of the that we're currently spending on detecting, arresting, prosecuting, and incarcerating people who associate with the cannabis plant. If we changed the laws, we'd save all that money. I would go after the hard drugs. I'd go after the synthetic drugs, the crack, the cocaine, the heroin, those kinds of synthetic drugs, man-made drugs, which destroy the spirit and overcome rights of determination and self-choice because they're addictive and destructive to the body.
The spirit itself has become corrupted. Everybody knows that the coke is bad stuff and that it has bad spirit. It runs through a gamut of people that are against enlightenment. They're wanting you to try this stuff that makes you feel powerful, and then it goes away in about 10 minutes. And the people, the local people that we know, are growing little dabs of grass and stuff. Their stuff isn't that strong, but you don't want it that strong. It's one thing that we've learned is you don't need a huge bunch of anything. You can get the same effect with just a little bunch. And we're mature enough to be able to make those kind of decisions. We've never heard it debated. We've never heard this gateway drug thing debated. You know, they say well, grass leads to heroin. You can say the same thing about milk and gin.
If I took this low THC and tried to produce a marijuana, you'd have a hell of a headache. You wouldn't get any, whatever the euphoric is. There's no question that people in Canada can testify they've had no problem with any plot of this stuff, either in England or Canada or some of the other, Germany. Germany had enough intestinal fortitude in when they took East Germany, they paid one fellow $750,000 to quit raising it, and less than 10 years now they've turned it loose. Then the German farmer can raise it. They learned. They were willing to say we made a mistake. Bam, go on and do something to raise the fiber to help mankind.
Did you hear that plane go over a little bit ago? Mm-hmm. That's a sheriff's deputy's plane. It's a white plane with black wingtips. And it starts about this time in May and continues to fly over our place every day until way late in the fall. And the guy knows I'm not growing anything, and I know he knows. But that's not it. There's sort of a Indian wrestling going on here.
The Drug Enforcement Agency really has continued to fight this issue very, very hard. And from a legal perspective, the U.S. government continues to make no legal distinction between industrial hemp and marijuana. However, interestingly, in terms of our international trade treaties that we have signed, for example, through the GATT or through the World Trade Organization, we do make a legal distinction between marijuana and industrial hemp. And that's why we permit the importation of industrial hemp products in the first place.
For the industrial textile aspects of it, I would let the market control what happened to it. Since it doesn't have any drug content to be reckoned with, it has some, but it's negligible. It won't get anybody high or anything. I'd let the market control that and take the European example and let anybody grow as much as they could as long as they had a contract to sell it to somebody, which gives the market a self-regulatory perspective. You know, there won't be speculation in it. You know, your large landowners won't just go out and just plant acres and acres of it just so to keep the smaller farmer from doing it. If they don't have a market for it, they can't grow it. If they got a market for it, the industry wants to buy it, get a contract for it, yeah, you can grow it.
It's not the money alone that's causing a furor. It's this emotional attachment, this very spiritual soul attachment to the land and its products. And that can run pretty deep. But that also can end very abruptly, too.
I also think in terms of the people who like this as a fad is that they sincerely believe that we need to get back to a more natural state of things. And industrial hemp is currently being touted as something that's environmentally safe, if not environmentally conducive to having a saner society to be able to raise and produce products that are sustainable. that we're no longer raping and pillaging the earth. We're no longer cutting the trees down. We're raising a sustainable crop. We're no longer relying on the petrochemical industry, but we're raising a sustainable crop that's environmentally friendly. Now, whether these allegations are true or not, and how environmentally benign industrial hemp actually is, the economic realities, can we really replace wood pulp with hemp pulp? The realities of, can we really gear up all the cars to run on hemp oil rather than petrochemically based products, is irrelevant. The general public doesn't know, and for the most part doesn't care. What they're doing is buying into, I think, a symbol and making the statement that even though they don't quite understand the complexities of the world market, they're making a statement that they really want to do is go back to a more natural created environment and go back to a more natural market.
I personally have no desire to support either side if it could be produced without the narcotic, that side of it, then I'd say glory be. But I think, I'm not in a position to make this official statement, but I'll make it anyway. I don't think it'll be the economic success that the advocates seem to think it might be.
No, I just think we're going to be sucking the hind tits if we don't get busy and do the. If we could do the seed research, ideally we could come out and be the best source on the Americas, all up and down there, from Canada all the way to Brazil, Argentina. I'm afraid Canada's already picked up on that seed being in the profitable end of it. Now, climatically, I think we still have a better edge on it if we can get going quickly. Ideally, we'd bring seed here from all sources all over the world and quickly determine the THC level and the oil level and the fiber quality.
Do you think it'll happen in your lifetime?
Not mine. Not mine. I think my sons will get to see it, and daughters.
All right. We'll end it there. Thank you very much, Jay.
There was a word one time, I used to know it. And a dream I had one winter's night. When the mountains in the east were the mountains in the west. And this old river, it was a friend of mine. The days unfold and spread their gold. The cartwheels cross the moon, and we'll rise again to make our stand against the king's drag.